What's up, people? What's up, Patriots? Toki here, coming to you from Tokeys Politics. That's basically where I sit back, I get baked, and I talk about different aspects of politics and the things going on in this country. A lot of people figure that potheads or stoners don't know their ass from a hole in the ground. They figure we're too stupid to keep up with current affairs and things like that. So that's what this show's about. So please join in, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, hit that bell for notifications, and such and such. On this show, I'm going to talk about socialism, the new threat of socialism, and this new socialistic party coming out of the left. So sit back, enjoy, load a bowl, smoke a bowl.
Socialism kills countries.
First and foremost, the purpose of this video right here is because we're now in a situation where the liberal left has become more socialistic than probably it has since the McCarthy era. And what I mean by that is we don't have just one known socialist campaigning to be our president. We now have multiple self-proclaimed socialists. Right now, the Socialist Party is stronger than it's ever been in America.
Yeah, Bernie Sanders.
So let's go over socialism. First and foremost, socialism is a lot like, well, it's a lot like brown weed, commercial. Socialism it's not very good. It's kind of nasty. It's all based on quantity, not quality. So when everything's gone, it's gone. By the time you take it home, you tear apart all the seeds and stems, you're left with basically nothing. Socialism's a lot like that. What it is some people go to work. Some people who work manage to support the entire system. Now, everything they make gets thrown into a pot. It gets dispersed evenly until there's nothing left. That's socialism. Now, the problem with socialism is the nothing left part. You see, in America, we have this thing called the American dream. We have this thing that strives people to get up every morning, to go to work, to make money for a future, to drive the American economy. You see, the American dream itself is based on capitalism. The idea that we as Americans can capitalize off of a job, off of a good, off of a material or an idea. See, that's capitalism. The simple threat of socialism itself is the idea that the American people have the economic freedom to do as they please, to travel, to pick the car they want, to buy the home they want. You see, socialism itself is afraid of the freedom of choice. They're afraid of the ability to get out there and to earn.
Here's something. China, biggest socialism. Now they go by points. So if you got low points, you can't even leave the city. You can't go out of the city to go see family. Hell, if you're in the mountains, you got piss poor points, you can't come to the city. They glue you into one spot because you're a problem to the socialism. Oh, that's right. They have those vans that secretly go around picking up people with low points and never seen again. But all those people needing organ donations, sure getting their organs replaced real quick.
Now, see, here's the thing about socialism. The thing about socialism is it produces this idea that you can get literally money for nothing and checks for free. It's the idea that people can sit at home and live off almost a welfare-like system where they can stand in line in order to get a loaf of bread or a gallon of milk, and they can hope that they get there quick enough to get one. Okay, the problem with socialism is it's never worked. Okay, no socialistic government has ever withstood the test of time. Everyone has managed to dwindle. Everyone has managed to become a tyrannistic government which controls its masses.
That's Sweden. People.
Here's what's funny. You see, we live in an America where us Trumpers are often reverted to and called Nazis. We're the ones that are referred to as being the Nazi Socialistic Party. When in fact, anybody who would ever know a damn thing about history could tell you that the liberal left, the socialistic liberal left, is following Adolf Hitler's playbook to a T. Here's what they're doing. Number one, they're indoctrinating the youth. This is the same thing Hitler did right before World War II. He indoctrinated youth. Secondly, they outlawed certain history books. They outlawed certain lessons in school to hide the truth, to hide the facts, and to hide history from the people. Much like they did here in America when they started removing monuments, when they started removing historical facts, or started creating educational reform. Next, what they do is they start pushing for open borders while condemning American laws and American rights. Before you know it, the liberal left is now pushing for illegals, undocumented, and so-called refugees to run for office. Next thing you know, you have people who aren't even supposed to be in office representing the American people. You see, my grandfather used to tell me that whenever you get 11.5 million individuals that come to your house, come to your town, come to your city or your country, unannounced, unidentified, that constitutes as an invading force. And that's a fact. But yet, we're not supposed to see them as an invading force. Instead, we build walls of sanctuary all over this country to protect them against our laws, to protect them from us, the American citizens. Before you know it, these so-called representatives are pushing for things like free abortions. You see, Hitler had a mass genocide. Hitler was all about going and killing a bunch of Jews. The socialistic left is all about aborting babies, 60 million almost yearly. You see, their prize Planned Parenthood is ran by Margaret Sanger, who is a very well-known member of the KK party, the KKK. She spoke so many times about eradicating minority groups here in America and controlling the population.
Clinton was sad about the Grand Master Dragon dying of the KKK, and she went to his funeral.
Hillary was also given the Margaret Sanger Lifetime Achievement Award, which is basically, here's an award for how many babies you can kill through legislation.
Yeah.
Okay, now you think about this for a minute. What did Hitler do? He controlled the population. He pushed this idea of this Aryan-like nation where his people were allowed. But they invaded a country. They took over the politics. They did it by force. They did it by brainwashing the youth and literally killing off anybody who resisted. Is that not what's happening today in this country? Are we not being killed off everywhere we go? Are we not losing our rights? Are we not getting our children literally taken from us? Is that liberal left the same socialistic party that is now producing not just Bernie Sanders, but Kamala Harris and Imar, whatever the hell that Muslim's name is? You see, there's this little thing in our Constitution that says we shall never fall under foreign control or foreign rule. Yet we have foreigners in office. How is that possible? How is that even right? That we have individuals.
We got a lot of Muslims and they're devil worshippers, man.
Well, how is it right that we have individuals that are not from this country, that are not literally that are so-called refugees? How do we have them in office representing the hearts, the minds, and the best interests of the American people? It's not about religion. It's simply about being an American or not. How do we have individuals that come here illegally or get shipped here as refugees now in charge of our laws?
How could you have somebody in office that their religion anyway, and I will speak this up, have a religion that says we should destroy the United States government no matter how we can, because our God, our Constitution, our infidelity goes against everything that they stand for. So now they're in our government fucking everything over. And that's the honest damn truth.
Well, if you want to get technical about it, Islam isn't even a religion.
It's a cult.
Okay, if you want to get technical about it, it's a cult. And the reason it's a cult is because no religion on this planet requests a lifetime of servitude or death. Conversion or death. Okay, you leave, you're dead. That's a cult.
You don't join up, you're dead.
And might I also add that there's a lot of other evidence to prove that it could very well be a satanic cult to go along with that. But that's neither here nor say. That's not what this video's about. This video's about socialism. And the fact that...
But see, socialism and the Muslims were together during World War II. Sorry, but the Nazis and the Muslims worked together because they ran off the same bases. So, you want to talk about socialism, you got to talk about the other part of socialism, and that is the Muslim law, Sharia law. If you look at most of that, you got Sharia law all through that. Being Nazis. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm walking all over your video. I'm out of here.